it'll be a little bit more helpful for you to actually see them in operation in an admin environment or something along those lines. There's a bunch of tools here, and Windows is very heavily based on administrative tools. Windows, especially in the server environment, Windows Server is involved with a lot of this, particularly group policy and Active Directory for the managing users and services and setting policies that take place in most corporate environments. So the first one here on this list is Administrative Tools Services. You'll notice that there are numerous ways to get to things in Windows. And for example, just with looking at the registry editor or Microsoft Management Console, there's I think about 8 ways to get to Microsoft Management Console. Now the nice thing is that it's not likely you're going to be presented with a SIM on the 902 that deal with getting to making sure that, because I've taken exams before, especially I remember an exam I took that used a simulator for Microsoft Access, which was back, I think it was like Access XP. That's one of the most complicated database programs that I've ever used. I'm not a database admin, but with that, and it says you got to do tasks A, B, and C. You have to go about it in exactly very specific step-by-step way, and if you don't do that, then the whole question's wrong. Luckily, the A+ is not like that. So, for example, if you're asked to do something on Task Scheduler, you're going to be presented with Task Scheduler. You're not going to have to go about finding the service and so forth. So, with the majority of these tools, now there's a big exception in this one. I'll show you that when we get to it. The Network Places Wizard. Network Places Wizard. There is only one way to get to that, and it's by typing netpl-wiz at the command line. You might think, well, the network player doesn't sound like much of a wizard. netpl-wiz. Often you think of a wizard as being like an easy access tool that guides you through something, but with netpl-wiz, typing that is the only way to open that. I'll show you that when we get to it. So first with services. So let's go ahead and type in services down there. So let's take a look at this. And so what is a service? What do you think of a service as?
Something that's running?
Something that's running. Not all services are running. As you can see over here on status,
Because you can disable them, right? You can disable your services, certain services.
You can disable services, but they may not be running because whatever application that they're intended to support isn't active. And so, Windows would launch it. Now, essentially, a service is nothing but a small program that's designed to support some feature in Windows behind the scenes. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these services right here. This is very different than looking at the task manager in terms of services that are running, because here we're looking at all available services. So if you expand this description area, like let's take a look at one that is running. Okay, right here, this one's running. Application information facilitates the running interactive applications with additional admin privileges. What does that mean? That means I want to come over here to an app like VMware, and let's say ETE Player. Run as administrator. I would not be able to do that without that service being running. So it is running. So if this service is stopped, users will be unable to launch applications as an administrator. So I can right-click on this service and go to stop, and then I would lose the ability to run applications as an administrator. That sounds like a very, very simple. It's a very simple task. Most of these are. A CNG key isolation process. So you want to just stop that? No. You stop a service that you're not familiar with, you easily could disrupt, you know, a very important Windows task or some encryption process that's running. Here we're looking at key isolation, so this is probably related to something dealing with PKI. So, you know, I wouldn't want to stop that. Database service. So really, you get a few options on all these. You can stop, and you can also look at properties. So, you know, if you're wondering what a service does, the best way to get more info about that is to Google it. Yes.
Listen, what if you, let's say, you stop services to calendar, for instance, and so because you know you don't want to run it running in the background, but then when you launch it, would that service be launched with it? Will it be turned on?
Often it will.
Huh?
Not always, but usually it will.
Okay.
You could set it